What's up, animators? Sharp here, doing Mine Imator one last time. I promised you a while ago that I'll make a video on Mine Imator 2.0, and it's been out for 20 days as of recording this video. I'm very busy. Please give me some slack. I'm recording this on my sick leave. That's the only time that I have time for stuff like this. Being an adult is fun. Anyway, this is my last ever video on Mine Imator because I'm a Blender channel. I do Blender now, and Blender is fun, and I like it. But I did promise you this, so we're doing it. So I've never opened Mine Imator 2.0 before, nor any of the pre-releases or anything. This is an entirely new experience for me. So let's see what it's like. Okay, so this is the new startup screen. It seems like it has a bunch of renders that it goes through. I've opened it up before once because I was recording, but I messed something up, so now I'm reopening it. The recent projects are shown here, and you can click the pin icon so they stay on top. I know this because I've been reading stuff from the list here. So let's just open the same project that I had before when I was testing things out. One of the things that I was asking about in the 20 changes in Mine Imator that I'll make. So basically, you can now pop the camera off so you can place it anywhere you want. Although my frames are dropping here, so I'm not sure if this is something that could be further optimized. It's a little bit slow. If I place it on the second screen, I still have it on the second screen. And on the second screen, when I move it around, it doesn't lag. You can have the viewport here and work here, but put the camera on the second screen and make it full screen. I now have Mine Imator across both my screens. This is something I was imagining when I made that suggestion to Nimi. Anyway, we have it now, so this is pretty cool. You can drag it into the corners just like before, you know, or you could just pop it out completely, pop it back in, and when you restart Mine Imator, it's gonna remember your setup and it's gonna be the same. So if you put something on the second screen, restart Mine Imator, it's gonna be there, right? So it remembers your layout. There's a simple and advanced mode. You start with the simple mode, but you can upgrade it the same way that you could upgrade, you know, previous Mine Imator versions to get the advanced mode, which has more features. Technically, it's also something that I suggested, but not because I wanted it, but because some of the things that I've suggested were a little bit too advanced. So I said, if this is too much, make a beginner and professional mode, you know, hide the features. So now that's also here. Okay, so the controls are all the same, you know, hold right click, WASD. What's really cool, I wanted to see before, let's click on the workbench. I want to add a scenery, and I'm gonna import from world. There's a new world screen picker. I'm gonna select 1.17 or something. Yeah, this is my wizard world. The same controls, hold left click, hold right click to pivot around. It's just like Mine Imator. Now, if you want to import a scenery, now you can see it in front of you, so it's gonna be easier. Click once to select the first point. Click again to set the second point. This is your selection now, but you can also grab one of the sides and drag it out with left click. Drag this out. I just want to get the whole wizard tower in, so drag this out, drag this out. You know, it's very easy. I think it's a very smart system. You can also pick the bottom, drag it so you have the entire ravine or something. Let's import this tiny little area. Now that we have this, let's import selection. It's in the project now. Let's click create, and when you create something, it's automatically going to place it on the floor, and you can decide where it's gonna be placed, positioning it and clicking. Okay, that's something. So if you click this, you have new gizmos. Move tool is G, rotate is R, and bend is B, and scale is S. So this is kind of the same like with Blender, except when you click G, you get the gizmos, you don't get the movement thing. Okay, it's close enough, close enough. In the resources, you can click reload, and it's going to update the blocks. So if you build something in-game, you can click reload, and this is going to update in the animation. That's pretty cool. I didn't know it was possible. I'm getting a phone call. Not now. It's probably important. I'm running from my responsibilities. I've been an adult for too long. Let me have some of this. The next thing talks about these tools. So the move tool, rotate tool, bend tool, scale tool. There's also plane gizmos, if you haven't noticed. So, you know, arrows go in one direction, but these plane gizmos go in every direction except this one. So imagine this is a wall. It's gonna slide on this wall. The bottom one is gonna slide on the floor. You know, plane gizmos are cool. I like them. There's also a free transform tool that I don't know how to get. What if it's T? No? T? Yeah, press T for transform tool. You get movement, rotation, and everything at once, except for scale. Cool. I'm learning. Told you I'm sick. Okay, timeline changes. Added icons to the timelines. Okay, so the scenery now has icons. Let's add a character. Human, sure. It's gonna have a Steve icon. Is the skin different? Oh, that's also in Minecraft, right? Minecraft changed the skin, so it's using, you know, second layers and stuff. Mine Imator's doing that too. That's cool. Block. Timeline basically has icons. That's cool. Added icons to preview the contents of folders. What does that mean? How do I put this in a folder? Right click, add folder. Oh! So in the folder here, it shows you what is inside with these icons. That's cool. Kind of reminds me of Blender. Huh? Nimi? Did you plagiarize Blender? I'm kidding. Add a new playback button. So these are buttons that are gonna help you playback the animations. Next keyframe. Wait a second. So I'm here. I can jump to the next keyframe. What if there's more keyframes hidden down here? Is it gonna jump through all of them? Okay, that's cool. What if, is it gonna jump through all of the ones that are hidden? Okay. It's not exactly, you know, the whole shift to snap the keyframes thing, but it's pretty close. I could work with that. I could. I'm not going to. I'm using Blender now. It feels like bad timing. Move forward and backward by 1 frame and it's describing this thing. I think you can also press left and right. Like right click, select the region, you can play at the region. So it's only going to play at this region. And I think if you turn on looping, it's only going to loop the region. Yeah, cool. I'm learning. It's pretty intuitive, right? It's just great interface design, like user interface design. It's UI design. It's great UI design. Great UI. Added timeline markers. Yes. Right click, add marker. Explosion happens here. Boom. You have a marker that tells you. I wish I had this when I was still using the software. Man, that's great. Man, I like this. Let's add a fucking particle spawner. I don't care. Explosion. These are pretty much the same settings, except the interface is different. I don't think I should be play with one feature. There's a whole bunch of stuff added. I have to get through this video. There's also ghost toggles, so set the grass and this as the ghost timeline. Let's say it's part of a scenery. Now if you click this, hide ghost timelines, boom! So it's much more clean to work with, and if you want to get them back, just bring the ghost timelines back. Okay, let's say particle spawners are going to be, how do I set a filter? Color tag, give this a yellow tag, so particle spawners are going to be yellow. Scenery is always going to be green, so let's put this to green. Characters are going to be red. And then, if you go to filters, I want to animate characters now, so boom! Oh, you hide everything else. Okay, so let's, you can hide things. So now I only see the characters and I can animate the characters. Okay, next up, I want to animate the folders. You don't animate folders. I want to animate the particles. You can focus on one thing at a time. I want to move the whole scenery or something. This is good. This is very, very good. This is, like I've said before, the equivalent of timeline tabs, which I was so eagerly defending, but I think this is better. It's more organized than my approach. So congratulations, Nimi. You're a smart man. I imagine what all I could do with these new features. You guys have it now. Use them. Be happy for them. Cherish them. Thank Nimi. Donate to Mine Imator. Then you have a bunch of tips. So select keyframe. It says click. Shift and click is select keyframe add. So this is gonna add to your selection. Group select. You can drag, shift and drag, so that's gonna add them no matter what. You can't deselect this way. Control drag is group deselect, so I can deselect these two. That's also something I really needed in the software. Man, now that I'm not using it anymore, god damn it, I was waiting for so long for this to be added. No, it's okay, it's okay. I'm happy for you guys. What is environment? Aha, that's the background, so it's time. It also has a clock, it's also rotation. Angle and strength, sky background, clouds, ground, the textures and texture packs, biome, you know, for the colorization and stuff. Twilight, I'm guessing is this, like the red tint, yeah. Text animation speed, this is pretty much the same. Time and frames now displayed next to project time and frames. This is 1 second, but it doesn't show me any frames or something. It's displayed. I don't understand this list too well. Loop options are now a single button that you toggle through. If you click create, it's gonna snap to the scenery. So also like on top of the other blocks, not just on the ground, but you can also add them on top of the sceneries and stuff. If you hold shift while you click create, it's gonna be in the center of the world. So where's the last Steve that I've added? See, it's in the center of the world. How do I delete you? -20, so it's gonna move it by 20. I hope this works. Let's say it's on 3, but I press times 90. You can also do multiplication. divided by 3. So basic math is supported in the values. That's cool. If you want something very precise and you don't want to do the math, now it does it for you. So in the sample text, I'm gonna type in a bunch of words with spaces. If you hold Control, you can skip over entire words when pressing left and right. Home and end, you're gonna jump across the entire text and stuff. You know, just shortcuts which you have in any other text box on the computer. Now work in Mine Imator as well. Library also has filters, so you can filter different things. That is insane. Organization update, am I right? You can filter individual things. Wow, and even multiple ones if you want to. Nimi, I love you. I don't use this software anymore, but I love you. This is great, no homo. There's themes. How do I get the themes? Edit preferences, interface, light, dark, darker. Hell yeah. You can add like the accent color. Okay, what is the render? This is just to render stuff. View, playback time. You can also playback in frames. That's what the frames were that I didn't understand. You just have to click around and find out. I'm not even looking at the list anymore. Edit camera panning, so shift and drag left mouse button, yeah. Assets can be dropped into the file explorer? Are you kidding me? Wait, hold on. No fucking way you did this. If I drag this in, Oblivion Night has been added into the animation. Wow, no way. And it's here and it's rigged. Are you kidding me? This is a thing. It feels like the bends are not as broken anymore. I mean, not as laggy, I guess, at least. F to frame. It's V. V to view the instance. Okay, so press V and you're gonna jump to the thing. That's also something that I suggested. Wow, I feel like a man with influence. Where is this thing? Oh, press V and it's gonna tell me. This is great. I'm hyped up for a software that I no longer use. Audio can be previewed in the resource tab, so I guess you can see the waveforms and stuff. So that's pretty cool. This grid overlay settings, you know, if you've increased the rows and stuff, that's also going to be saved per project. So every project is gonna have their own thing. When you open it again, it's gonna be the same. We got through all of this. We've got to rendering. Now it's animation, other features, engine. Wow, there's so many things. I'm gonna be here forever. Okay, they've added render presets, which is the ones here, but I have no idea. Like, I'm guessing this is just the settings. So, like, if we look at the... if I get close enough, the shadows disappear. And this is just flat, without lights. This is what we're used to before. This is shaded, and this is rendered. Okay. I'm supposed to be showing off the features, not playing with this. Camera effects can now be previewed in flat and shaded mode, and toggle with the enable and disable camera effects button. That's pretty cool, but again, I have no idea how do I get there. Is it in preferences? It's not in render settings, because it doesn't really do anything. Where are all these settings? I'm hearing about all these settings, but I don't see any settings. Where are all the settings? That's one of the complaints that I have. I'm lost. I want to mess with the settings, but I can't find them. These are render passes, so we can... This is where you find render passes. There's no specular stuff in here yet. This is the shadow pass. It looks pretty freaking cool. It's very easy, is what I'm seeing. Nothing uses the normal map. What is this up here? Yeah, if you want the normal thing, just go to combined. Man, where are the settings? Is it in the camera? Like, disable camera effects. Found it. Slowly but surely. Camera, it's gonna have a bunch of like constraints. It can follow a path, which I'm guessing is also what this path is for. So let's add a path. How do I mess with this path? How do I make this path go out? I don't need this particle spawner. Get out of here. Found it. Add point, and now you can move this point. Okay, and now you add another point. You can move that point. Yeah, found it. And then you add a new point, and then in the path you can click connect ends, and it's connected. Or you can smooth path or not smooth path. You can mess with the detail, so it's even more smooth or not. You can generate a shape out of this. So this path now makes a shape, and then you can change with the settings like the radius, texture, path, George. Camera, you can now follow a path. George, if I put this to 0, if I reset this to 0, right? And I reset this to 0. Now it works fine. So it's gonna follow this path. Mine Imator actually has constraints now. Wow. I'm learning as I go. See?
Here's a message to all of my viewers who suggest tutorials for every little thing. See, if you click things, you usually find them.
The biggest gift is just click around and you'll find answers. That's literally what I'm doing. Nobody's making tutorials for me. I have to click around and find out. That's how I learn. That's how you'll learn. Added HDR support. allowing much brighter and darker lighting scenarios. Okay. Added tone mapper exposure gamma. Is there light management in here? Yes, it is. Okay. So in here, so you can mess with the exposure. Yeah. There's tone mappers. So it's kind of like different color transformations, and you can mess with the gamma, of course. So these are all the same as they were before. Nothing that I'm missing. Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah, these are color profiles, basically. Added physically based rendering, PBR support. I actually want to test this cobblestone block, and it's gonna be right here. Press V to zoom in. Wow. Material, surface properties, roughness, metallic, emissive. Can I plug a texture into the roughness? Because now that I put this on 0 mode, this is now gonna reflect stuff. But can I add a texture to this roughness? I want this roughness to be a texture, so individual parts are going to be individually rough. You can also make it metallic, so the IOR is going to be different, but that looks awful with a cobblestone texture. I think the best way to show it would be with a gold block. If I put this to metallic, it's very blue because of the sky, I'm guessing. So let's go inside. Go inside the wizard tower. Why is it still blue? Something doesn't feel exactly right. Also, it doesn't feel like it's reflecting much, even if I put the roughness all the way down. You can also make it emit light, but that doesn't actually physically emit light. It just makes it bright, because this is render mode, right? This is how the render would look like. Or maybe I'm wrong. Render image. Oh, I forgot about the camera. Oh, delete the camera. If I render image now, yeah, replace. Nope, it's the same. I feel like the materials do not work like actual materials. I don't know, something is off here. Is there a way that I'm supposed to add this scenery to the reflections and material properties? I don't know, that feels like it shouldn't be the way it works. Should I add lights? Are lights missing? You shall be reflective and metallic? No! It looks like it's just ignoring all the scenery and reflecting the background. Subsurface scattering, if I put this down, it does actually work. Subsurface scattering does feel like actual subsurface scattering. Great on Nimi for implementing this. That's actually something I like. Subsurface scattering. Don't use it on gold, please. Use it on organic stuff. Hey, yo, bro, let me give you some subsurface scattering. If you mess with individual like green or blue, you're gonna mess with the tint. Subsurface scattering in people is like mostly red, but it also includes traces of other colors because of the blood, right? It's difficult to get it right unless you look up data values and stuff, which I think is a bit of an overkill for a test that I'm doing right now. Oh yeah, there's also alpha modes. Down here, appearance, if you drop this appearance down, alpha mode, default, hashed, or blended. So if I put the opacity down here, this is like the alpha glitch, right? It's overlaying what's behind it. This is the alpha glitch. If I put the alpha mode to hashed, you know, it does the same thing, but if you blend it, okay, render that to still a thing. Okay, I don't see much different in Blender. It's like if it's blended, it's going to blend it on top of it. If it's hashed or clipped, it's just going to clip through the whole alpha. I don't see any of this happening here. You can also blur texture, and this I'm pretty sure is all the same from before. You see, look. Added indirect lighting render settings, allowing emissive objects to illuminate surroundings. That's what I was saying before, but where is it? Because I still have this gold block in here. Emissive, I said 100, yes. And also reflections, it says reflections, but how do I find it? Where are all these mysterious settings? I'm in advanced, so the option should be here. I am so confused. Oh. Okay, so I think it's all in the preset. I don't know how to mess with individual stuff, but in the preset, I've changed something and I'm getting reflections. But if I put this on performance, it doesn't do that. It does feel more like a gold block, but for some reason, it still reflects blue. Maybe it's the ambient colors if I put this up? No, it still feels very blue. It's the sky. I'm telling you, sky. It's reflecting the sky, like through the scenery, through everything. So something is wrong. But if I put this back, I want to see if global illumination works. So it's still not exactly lighting up the surroundings. It has to be a setting somewhere. I don't know where. Okay, I found it through some weird thing. Preset custom. Now you have it, right? Render distance. Okay. Samples. Now you're shooting samples through the camera. So if I put this to 5 samples, it's gonna look like shit. What? Even in one sample, it looks okay. Okay, wow. Ambient occlusion, this is where you turn it on or off. Shadows, you turn it on or off. Subsurface scattering, you can have the blur quality, highlights and stuff like that. Indirect lighting, this is the global illumination thing. and precision, denoise radius and stuff. You know, disable the emissiveness and put it back to 100% metallic and stuff. Turn off indirect lighting? No? Like, what is with this whole thing? Reflections, yes or no? That's all cool, because you have reflections, but it's still very blue. That's not how reflections work. Glow, you also have the radius and intensity in here. Anti-aliasing, all the same. Texture filtering, again, comes to the texture. Light management, it's also in here, so that a bunch of color profiles to make it look better. Models and scenery, banding style, that's cool. Liquid waves, object material maps. There it is. There it is. Give me a block. Cobblestone. This is basically a roughness map. I want to try something. Draw an ugly smiley face. Name it test with a whole bunch of T's. The material map. Can I have to import it first? Resources. Add resource. It's going to be the test PNG. It's going to be a texture. And now in the excuse me. Block sheet? It's not a sheet though. Okay, I guess it is. Material map, it's mostly supposed to be reflective with this now. Or is material maps supporting a different kind of like format? I'm not sure. You've got normal maps as well. So that somehow worked, because normal maps are not black and white. I'm confused as to how this all works. It does not work like a normal 3D user would expect. But it's there. I've seen tutorials out there. Maybe I'm supposed to unfold it and stuff. I don't have time for this right now. I was just playing. Okay, so all this stuff I've seen. Animation, inverse kinematics. Let's take a look. I'm gonna give you inverse kinematics. Target, I'm gonna make a target. So the target's going to be a cobblestone block again. Why not? This is gonna be the target. Okay, so target is going to be the cobblestone block. Angle target. Oh, I need the pole vector as well. I'm going to add a deep slate block, and that's going to be the angle, is going to be the angle one. So the deep slate is going to be the angle one. Yeah, the cobblestone now controls Steve's arm. This is how IK handles work, and now it's finally in Mine Imator. Again, something I wanted for a really long time, and now it's here. It doesn't extend, which is good. IK done properly. You can see the subsurface scattering here. This dude is going to control the angle of the arm. So this is the pole vector. Cool. It's very interesting seeing this in here now. Oh, I'm guessing there's more settings in here, like angle offset to correct it, the blend between the normal and non-normal. So if you want to switch from one version to another, this is a switch, right? If you need IK at one point but normal controls in the other point, this is where you do it. Usually legs are IK and arms are not IK, because legs tend to stick to the floor and whatever. Let's move on. Which limbs will have inverse kinematics? The body parts must have bending, can only bend on the x-axis, because if it bends on all three, it's almost impossible to calculate what you want to do with it. Joint end setting is defined. It's specific to Mine Imator. I don't know about this one. So the distance from the elbow to the hand or the knee to the foot. So the end of the joint distance setting must be defined somewhere in the JSON files, I'm guessing. Edit path and path point timelines. Okay, yeah, I've messed with this. I've checked out all of this except the bottom two. So let's try. If I add a new path. Now, add a particle spawner. Particle spawner, open settings, is going to be constant, and it's going to summon like 2,000 a minute. For some reason, it does not want to summon them here. Enable particles. Dude, what the fuck? Tractor is going to be the path. I really want to see this, but I can't. I want to see them in the freaking timeline, though. That'd be nice. Like in the viewport. These are the render settings that you can also import and save as default. Yeah. So you can always use the same ones. I'm very confused though.
2 hours later.
Okay, so the attractor was a path. And now you have directional force and vortex force. So directional force, I'm guessing, it's going to direct it around that path, so you can force particles on a path, I'm guessing. And vortex force is just how it's gonna drag it on the path itself along a certain line that the path is doing. But I don't see the particles, and I don't know how to fix it. I have no idea how this works. Maybe it's a bug, or maybe I'm just an idiot. One of the two. Keyframe transitions. So it's like ease in, all the ease in, ease out, all the ease out, ease in and out, all the ones here, and then other is linear, constant, and Bezier. And here is the custom transition that you can do. Let's start here, and let's end here. And this is a very, very strong Bezier curve. So I'm gonna set this, right? So I can always just play this transition. It's very intense. So if I drop this down here, and if I bring this back here, now it's gonna be less intense. Or you can make it start quickly, slow down in the center, and then speed back up. Something you could not do before, because this has constant motion. If you use ease out and then ease in, previously you'd get a solid stop. But now you can slow it down while keeping the motion, then speeding back. It opens up a lot of possibilities, right? Yeah! You can also mess with individual values here, the X, Y of the Bezier. Cool. Reworked camera shake. Camera shake. It's either positional with strength and speed XYZ, or rotational. Let's get more strength. I also saw... Wait! Oh! Particles! They work! I don't know what happened or how it happened, but they work. Path. Okay, force is gonna be stronger. Directional force is gonna be way strong. Okay, apparently not enough. This boy is gonna have a lot of directional force and some normal force. Are we working with like really high values here, or... This force doesn't seem very forceful. Underwhelming. I was expecting more. Okay, doesn't matter. In the environment settings, here's wind. So speed, strength, whatever. Like wind influence, there we go. It's affected by wind, but here's the influence. How much is it actually going to be affected, right? So the wind can be very strong, but this is not as affected because it's like a stone material or whatever. Stone should not be affected by wind at all. It's a bad example, but you know what I mean. We saw all this. Other features. Updated Minecraft assets to 1.19. Added new color settings for leaf blocks in the custom biome settings. Let's biome. Where's biome? I want biome. Custom biome. Every type of leaf has a different color that you can customize individually. Plus water. You can customize water. I swim in blood. This is why I became an animator. Put all my psychotic tendencies to life. Default particles now use launch angles. Adding new default particles, the ones you see in the game. Added structure block file support. So I think you can import files saved from structure blocks, so MBT files. You can import those into the game, and it's also going to load them as sceneries, I think. Support for custom player heads and scenery. So if your world has custom player heads, it's also going to be shown in the animation. Added support for shields in the new pattern editor. I haven't checked that out yet. Special block? Yeah, for some reason it's a block. As pattern, open pattern editor, and you can also edit the pattern. How cool is that? I want to start with a red outline, a green cross. Boom. And now you can import this shield. Wow, Mine Imator's come a really long way. Like, this is so customizable. Everything is so customizable. So Mine Imator no longer uses GameMaker. It uses C++, which is one of the reason it can support all of the features that it could not do before, because it's a whole new coding language. Nimi went through so much for this update. It supports Mac, supports Linux, it supports 64 bits. Scenery importing is now up to 10 times faster, depending on the amount of cores in your PC. Bigger sceneries can be imported. I also saw that, but I don't want to push it too far yet, because it's not the most smoothly running software in the world for me. Blender is still much faster, but still it's pretty cool, and it's also more stable. And here's the changes. Some stuff got renamed, optimized and stuff. We have seen most of this stuff as we're playing with the software. They removed a bunch of stuff that I didn't like. Follow camera sunlight range, that was very stupid. Desaturate night. Rotation loop setting. You know, when you go 360 degrees and it would just go back to 0 but show you one loop in the bottom. That was dumb. Bleed light was removed because they added subsurface scattering. And the foliage tint was also pretty stupid. I don't see anyone ever using it. There was a bunch of bug fixes since pre-release 7, but that's about it. So, this is the Mine Imator 2.0 we've been waiting for all this time. It is a result of a lot of work, a lot of all-nighters and stress, I'm assuming. Nimi, I know you. Don't lie to me. Now it's finally here. As somebody who has left Mine Imator behind to pursue bigger animation dreams, but Mine Imator played a big role in my life, I can say that I'm pretty happy with this update. I kind of envy all you guys, because this is something that I wish that I had when I was still using it, and it feels pretty solid, very capable, much more stable, even though it's not the fastest. I'm sure I would understand a lot more global illuminations and material maps, because they work completely different than you would expect from a regular 3D software. I'm sure I would have gotten used to it if I had enough time to play with this. There's a lot of features. There's a lot of new stuff, a lot of very, very useful new stuff. From organization to path constraints, literally, to meshes, to PBR maps, to inverse kinematics, for frick's sake. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of good stuff. I am proud to see where the software has come. In a way, I feel like a lot of the stuff here has been influenced by my 20 ways I would improve Mine Imator video. Somehow, in some strange way, this update feels like my last service to the community, right, before I go. Feels pretty personal to me, right? It feels like I helped shape it, even though I was not there for the development or testing or anything else. I know there's beta testers and stuff, and I had nothing to do with any of the work that went into this. I just sat down, turned on the camera, and talked about the stuff that I want in here. I had the easiest job, but it still feels like, you know, I helped shape it in a way. I see a lot of myself in this, with Nimi's different implementation. The functionality is there. This is all I wanted, and now we have it. So it looks like a great tool. I hope it serves the community well, and a lot of great animation is born because of the software, and a lot of dreams and passions about animation are born. I know that's how I got into animation, through this Minecraft blocky thing, which was in a very different state when I started, but now I have a much more polished tool. I just hope this thing gives birth to more passionate animators. Nimi, you've done an amazing job. From the bottom of my animator heart to your developer ears. It feels like I'm leaving Mine Imator with a positive note. I also saw there's plenty of tutorials popping up about the new updates, so I don't think you'll be starving without me, so I think you're all in good hands. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and have fun with the new software. It seems pretty great. Till next time, stay sharp.